Today's session is going to be a boot camp day 5 with the FOSSA Pub 64 a CE4. Yesterday, on day 3, I believe, we set up a multiple rocks launcher by using a small script that would allow with a super and X key, window and X key, will open up multiple rocks filer, so you can copy and move things around, and it only opens in we set it up so it opens in workspace 2. So today though, what we'll do is we also would like to launch a browser, in this case Firefox ESR, which is already default browser on this particular Puppy Linux. And also we also want to be able to launch Genie editor, which we will continue to use as the main editor for configuration files. So the first thing what we want to do is go ahead and copy this. What this will do is create a browser.sh and genie.sh and make it executable. So we'll just simply copy this, and then we'll go ahead and launch the prun, and we want a terminal, so we can go ahead and use lx terminal, and then copy, and then see what happens. So now we can fill in the genie.sh file, which is already executable in a proper folder. So I'm gonna cheat here a little bit, and then so this is the Genie. So right here, what we can do is just go ahead and copy this over to Genie. We'll just copy, and then genie.sh, we're gonna paste that. So it's telling the script will only allow to launch in a workspace 5. Right now we only have a workspace 3, but it's gonna, and then it also, even if you activate the genie.sh from another workspace, it will not launch the second, but it will refer back to the original Genie that's already open. So now similarly, what we can do is just go ahead and copy the browser sh. So the browser sh code is right here, and we'll just make it a copy here, and then put it in the browser.sh, and right there, and we'll just go up just to make it cleaner, and then save. Now to activate the changed configuration file, what we have to do is restart jwm-restart. So then it should be active. Then what we can do is just go ahead and test the browser.sh, and it should start the Firefox. So indeed it does. So that's working okay. So now what we would want to do is, at this point, is to bind the key, particular key, so we can just launch it without having to type in browser.sh. So to do that, you go to jwmrc-personal file, which is within the folder, hidden folder of .jwm. So you can go ahead and do that. And while we're at this, what I recommend is, so far there is only 3 workspace, but we're gonna put in on a further workspace. So I think that Genie is going to open up actually in workspace. Although it says 4, it's going to open up in workspace 5. So what we want to do is go ahead and to increase the number of virtual desktops on a you go to personnel file, and right now it's on 1 row. So but we can just make that a height of 2, and what they will do is create 6 workspaces on 1, 2, 3, and 3, 4, 5. So we'll go ahead and make that change. And then furthermore, what we can do is just take a look at the key bindings. That's a default key binding. So what I prefer to do is just simply use F4 key to close any application that's open. So what we can do is just go ahead and drag this and then move it over here just to make it more clean. And then you can see that we just need a key F4 to close any application, and what we can do is delete this part, and then so that's done. So from now on I can just simply use F4 to close any application. So what other further changes do we want to make at this point? What we want to do is add I've been given a feedback that it is for a novice user, it's easier to use LX terminal rather than URXVT is a primary terminal emulator. So what we can do is just go ahead and put this in LX terminal. We can just copy this and then look at the personnel file and look at the key binding right now. So right now there's several key bindings here, and we want to insert it here, so we can just copy that, and it's T. There's no other 4 and T, so that's going to be safe. And LX terminal dot geometry, and the last 2 numbers here represent where part of the display you want the terminal to launch. So for me, for my display and monitor, it's okay to have it here in the center. That's what you may have to play around with these numbers if you have a different, I'm sure, different monitors. So for me, this works fine. And then you'll also notice that yesterday we changed the super and X to launch the rocks.sh, which I showed you at the beginning of this session. So on a day 1, I mentioned that I like to use Rofi as the primary application launcher. So and then I installed it using Puppy Package Manager, Rofi, and the Ubuntu font. So we'll go ahead and use this here to start the Rofi with the key binding. So what we can do is go ahead and make a copy of this, and then again go to the personnel file, and although it is not a super, we can just put this here and then paste, and so this should and make sure that there is no other key binding that has the same control and space, which will be used to launch the Rofi. further changes, obviously what we need to do is go ahead and get the key binding going as far as Genie and the browser. I made a mistake here. What we want to do is browser sh, and we want that to be a super NW. So what we want to do is we'll just go ahead and save all this, and what we want to do is just go ahead and copy this into personnel here, and we'll go ahead and see what this looks like. We'll paste it. Okay, now you have to make sure there is another E. So we want to use super NE to launch Genie. So what you want to do is you have to make sure that this is deleted, otherwise it'll get confused. And then so the browser is W. There's no W here, and the super W is not being used. So while we add it, what we can do is I can go ahead and show desktop. Super D is default, and that's fine. I don't need the locking keyboard, and I don't really need this either. And we can go ahead and I won't use any of these. So while we're at this, what we can do is let's go ahead and make this. I want the super R just to start rocks. So rocks folder. So we can go ahead and make this change. Rocks and dash, and gives you a new rocks. So this super R starts a rocks filer in any workspace, and rocks sh with super X starts 3 rocks in a workspace too. And we'll go ahead and save all that, and then we will go ahead and give it a command of starting the jwm restart again to reread all the configuration changes. Now so far I think the one other change that before we finish that I would like to make is to make the tray show up here. So to do that, you go to the jwm.rc-tray, and then simply change this to from bottom to top. So vertical alignment, and then close, and then we'll go ahead and close, and then we can go ahead and start the rocks, the terminal, and then restart tab the up arrow, and then enter. And now you notice the JWM has moved to the tray has moved to the top, and furthermore you see there's 3, 4, 5, and 6 workspaces. And then now we can go ahead and see where the Genie is. Super E should start Genie here on this workspace, for example. So super E, yes, so indeed it does. So I think that that's probably all we want to go over today.